Well, I guess you could call this a little bit of story, a little story about this 4400 Gehl skid steer. We bought this about 8 years ago. I never thought we needed one till Dad decided to go look at this, and we bought it, brought it home, and found out it is as handy as a pocket on a shirt. You find more uses and more things to do with one than Carter's got little green pills. But at any rate, she's a good machine. When I bought it, the bucket was not the best, as you can tell here. She's pretty rotted out. So about 3 years ago, I got the chance to buy this bucket, which a guy had bought a skid steer, another Gehl skid steer. I think it was a 4625 maybe, that the guy had just put this bucket on brand new, but he didn't want it because it's too big. He wanted a small bucket. So I got the opportunity to buy this bucket that was a year old for $300, so I jumped on that. And it is a Gehl bucket. Used to be able to read the decals. I guess that was it. So off that bucket in the boneyard, I cut the brackets off, and cut the brackets off that was on this and welded it up. I will say this right off the bat: I am not a welder by any stretch of the imagination. I am a proper barnyard rod burner, and I'll just leave it at that. But it held, it's still on there, so I must have done it right. But about a year ago, I'd been looking for a set of pallet forks for this Gehl, and you cannot find them for older machines. I did find one guy that could get them, but they were in the $1,800 range, and I'm just not going to do that. No, I can build my own, so that's what I did. Everything you see here that's built, it's all out of scrap steel. There was no new steel put into this. This is all stuff that was just laying around. The only thing I did have to go buy was an 1.25 inch piece of bar stock, and it is tool steeled, so it's a good hard shaft. Forks I got from a forklift from where I used to work. We junked it out, and this was an old forklift. An old moto truck, and as you can see, there is a date there stamped into them: February 1st, 1936. And that's how old that lift truck was. But I decided I'll build a set, and in keeping with my normal thing, I tend to overbuild. The bottom tube here is 3.5 by 3.5 by 1/4 box tubing. It was a piece of an Alice Chalmers planter freight. This bar here in the center is an 1.25 inch by 3 John Deere plow beam, so that's good hard steel. The 4-inch box or channel I had laying around, I did get buy a piece of, I believe it was 4x8 by 3/8 angle iron to make these brackets out of. I cut the hooks and the pins and stuff here. This whole inside piece is off an old bucket. The guy was cutting it up, and I bought what you see here to get the brackets off of it, so I can make that. Started welding it up, and I am going to say there's probably at least 10 pounds of welding rods in this thing, if not more. But I overdo it a little bit. But it works great. Did burn a hole in the end of the fork to move stuff with, which sounds easy enough, but man, when you start cutting them forks, it takes a good bit of heat and it takes a long time to cut them. But these are from outside to outside. It'll open up to 48 inches. If you put them all the way into these here, it's 24. Yeah, it's 24 inches outside of fork to outside of fork. The pin is removable. These two bolts here, this one and this one, you pull them out, take them off, this whole piece pulls out and that shaft slides out the hole here. So I made it to where if the shaft gets damaged or you want to replace it, you can do it easy enough. And I also made it, take that off so where you can adjust those forks, put them inside of here. So it works out great. Had to do a little weld there, which is not the easiest to do. Like I said, I'm a rod burner, I'm not a welder. But what I build holds together. At any rate, just a little story about this old Gehl 4400 and keeping it going by getting another bucket and welding everything up and making a set of pallet forks. When I got the scrap laying around, I'll save my $1,800 and put it into other things. At any rate, if you like, please comment, rate, and subscribe. If you have any questions, just ask. We'll see you next time.